NFL games tonight, New York Jets in Miami, Cincinnati in Denver. We're going to tell you exactly how to make money on both those games. That's what the show is about. I don't care about sports. I care about money. Joe Raineri joining us. You're watching the best betting show ever. It's Monday. Joe, what a weekend. We'll get to that as well a little later, but my God, congratulations. You won your 5% college football play. I lost my 5% NFL play, but I swept the board on everything else in NFL. Good weekend for me and my clients. What about you?
I mean, huge college football Saturday, Prez. Went 5-1, including that 5%
Nice.
Best bet. So, yeah, college football, we absolutely crushed it. Not to mention, Prez, not for nothing, but you know, the amount of teams and winners we are throwing out on a weekly basis on this show that have just absolutely been crushing it. I hope you guys are paying attention Monday through Friday, because a lot of valuable information and angles and edges and bets have been given out here since the start of this show.
If you guys have never watched this show before, you missed out on one of the two gentlemen right here telling you to bet the New York Giants on the money line. And that gentleman who's wearing a cat, again, no names, insisted you bet the New York Giants on the money line and explained exactly why you should bet the New York Giants on the money line. That very same person thought the Dallas Cowboys had a shot to win on the money line as well. Joe Raineri, today's show, it's simple. First, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to comment in our comment section. We have a mailbag section of the show where we go through your comments and questions. On today's show, it's 2 minutes a segment. We run it on a clock. New York Jets versus Miami, Cincinnati against Denver. Joe and I are going to go through what did we learn, and we will talk about the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about the New Orleans Saints, Arizona, etc. And we're also going to focus on what should we bet right this minute in the NFL, because there are bets coming in and lines moving. We'll have our bad beat sound off, and Joe, you're going to give us, what is this MLB postseason you talk about?
Well, it starts tomorrow, Prez, and we've got 4 of the wild card series taking place. Best out of 3 will advance to take on the top 2 seeds, and we're off and running on our way to eventually crowning a National League and American League pennant winner. Some interesting odd movement so far in series prices and game prices we need to go over.
Yes, and we will. Let's get into it. Cue the clock. New York Jets versus Miami. Joe, the line is -2.5 on Miami, -150 on the money line. New York Jets, the total here, 44.5. And, you know, Joe, right off the bat, my original thought was to take Miami. I felt like they had a good game last week against the Buffalo Bills, and their schedule is such that they really could come out of the first 7 weeks 4-3 or 3-4. They do have a route to fix their season. And then I said to myself, Jesus, man, they're Miami. Do they deserve to be a favorite? I don't know. So I'm going to look at taking the Miami team total over, the New York Jets team total over, exactly the same way we attacked last Monday night. Both team totals over, and I like Breece Hall +140 for an anytime touchdown. That's how I'm going to attack this game. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Prez, I would keep an eye on the weather here, as apparently we have this hurricane just off the coast here of Florida cruising up the eastern seaboard. There are some winds. There are some rain in the forecast here in South Florida tonight. But to me, Prez, I'm going to go with the team that can run the ball, because if the weather becomes an issue, there's one team that can run the ball tonight, and there's one team that can't. So I like the New York Jets in this one, and I really like them, Prez, in the first half. I think that's not a bad way to look at them, because if Tua can't just chuck it up and hope that Tyreek Hill comes down with it, Well, then guess what? Who's got the better running game? And to me, it's the Jets all the way. So first half, I believe the Jets come down and smack the Dolphins in this one.
There we go. Just real quick. Jets over 20.5. Miami over 23.5. That's where I'm going. Let's cross our fingers and hope the weather remains good. Joe, Cincinnati on the road playing Denver. Denver, one of my survivor picks. So full disclosure, I need this team to win. And I think they will. And I think they're going to cover this line, Joe. 90% of the money on Denver, 61% on the under. This is a tough spot for Cincinnati. This Denver team coming off a horrible loss last week. This is a team that is playing much better, a team that is really good defensively. I would be looking to take Cincinnati team total under here as well. I think Cincinnati is going to struggle to score more than 13 points. And Denver is trying to stretch the field, Joe. This is a team that's airing the ball out, finding ways to get the running game involved. Bo Nix has not been consistent, but on any given day, he could put up 3-4 touchdowns. I think Denver wins this game going away. I hate the hook, but -7.5 for me, Joe.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what here, Prez, because this is part of one of the client plays on a teaser that I had this week involving the Kansas City Chiefs. I had them in a teaser up to 8.5. That wasn't a problem. And the Broncos tonight are the other half of the teaser down to 1.5. And listen, as up and down as Bo Nix has been this year, the one thing we know is that last year, he was awesome at home. He threw for over 2,000 yards. He had 19 touchdown passes. He had a passer rating over 102. He had back-to-back road games in which the Broncos, quite honestly, have figured out ways to lose games. I don't think that's going to be the situation here. And while the Bengals did a great job of shooting themselves in the foot against the Vikings last week, Prez, yeah, expecting them to go in to Denver and get the job done. Listen, it may be close for a little while, but ultimately, I like Denver to win this game. Love them in a teaser and wouldn't hate those that put the Jets up to 8.5 and Denver down to 1.5.
Yeah, and also, Joe, J.K. Dobbins, anytime touchdown, yes. I like too, -130. Yep. There we go, guys. That's how we're going to attack Monday Night Football. Let's keep the clock rolling. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to comment. Joe, what did we learn in week 4 of the NFL? Well, I'll tell you right off the bat that I think the Arizona Cardinals are not nearly as good as we all anticipated coming into the season. I think Kyler Murray is not a competent quarterback in this league. And I think this team is going to struggle, and I'm looking to fade them moving forward. We'll talk about our fades tomorrow. I don't know what to make of this Baltimore Ravens team, but I gotta feel like they're a bet on team moving forward. They do have huge defensive problems, but Joe, I'm going to look to bet them to win the division. I cannot figure out the Pittsburgh Steelers either. I don't think they're nearly as good as they look. Minnesota is a strange team right now to bet on as well. And is Tennessee and Houston, Joe, are either of them going to win a game this year?
Yeah, well, Houston did win a game, barely.
I mean, New Orleans.
New Orleans. Well, at least they're competitive, Prez. But I think that now's a good time to remind folks, because we do this every year, okay? Do not, and I repeat, do not put a lot of stock into what you have just seen in the month of September for teams. Do not blanket these teams. Because very dangerous, right? The Packers were world beaters. Who was going to beat the Packers? They're going to win the NFC North after. Have you seen what they look like over the last couple of weeks here? Okay. Kansas City, right? That was it. The reign of horror is almost over. The Chargers are the team to beat in the. All right, everybody, let's settle down here, because what we saw in September will have very little or resemble very little to what these teams will likely look like come October and November. And keep this in mind. The Ravens are 1-3, and they are still the favorite to win the AFC North.
-200.
What does that tell you about how much the month of September means right now? Be very careful with the recency bias, Prez.
There you go, Joe. I think you and I are on the same page on a lot of that stuff. What do we bet now? Before we get into the specific week, Kansas City plus 140 to win the division, Joe. Is there money? Is there a good value there?
The value was last week when I told you that Kansas City was far from dead, and that we got to be very careful with reinforcements on the way. But get them while you can, Prez, because they're not going to be plus money in a couple of weeks when they get Rice back. And obviously, Worthy is a total game changer for this team. I would pick Kansas City before anything's long. By the way, the Chargers lost Alt, their other tackle, to go along with Slater. So both starting offensive tackles for the Chargers are done. It's not a good situation with the Chargers right now.
Joe, I know we had no section for this before we continue, but I want to talk about the Detroit Lions at plus 120 to win the division. They're already up 3-1. So they're up on Green Bay. They're up on Chicago. They're up on Minnesota. They lost the game to Green Bay, but it was in Green Bay. So they still have the home game against Green Bay. Plus 120 in the NFC North to win the division seems like a legitimately good bet to me.
Yeah, well, and also they're getting 8.5 right now, or laying 8.5 against Cincinnati. If Cincinnati gets boat raced by Denver, that line is going to go to double digits for it's all said and done. So if you like Detroit this week or coming up here, you may want to act sooner rather than later. It's already been on the move. If Cincinnati gets boat raced tonight, that'll be 9.5, maybe even 10 before it's all said and done, Prez.
Yeah, I think we will get to 10. Joe, let's keep the clock moving. NFL Week 5 bet now. And really, this is about line moves, Joe. And I'm going to start right off with the New Orleans Saints. Plus 2, there's now a pick'em on the board. Slap me sideways, but I did not see that coming. Arizona, they're almost at a 10. Seattle at a 3. We've got money coming in on Detroit like we spoke about. There are 9s out there. The over in New England and Buffalo has already been bet up to 50, Joe. And although Miami has not played tonight's game, they're taking a lot of money against Carolina in Carolina next week. Plus the Rams, Joe. 94% of the money bet in that game is on the Rams. They're now -4 almost across the board. Anything jump out at you that we should bet right now?
Yeah, bet Baltimore while you can, laying 6.5 at home against Houston. I don't care if it's Cooper Rush or Lamar or whatever. Baltimore going home, licking their wounds. Houston's offense is still broke. They had 6 points in that damn game until the second half. Let's not make it seem like Houston figured some things out offensively. They have not. Under a touchdown, I still think Baltimore's got some value. And be wary of Buffalo as a double-digit favorite, which is why they opened up as a 10.5-point favorite at home against New England. It's now 8, Prez. And yeah, I mean, Buffalo is the better team, but division rivalry, always a tough spot here for Buffalo with New England coming to town.
Yeah, -7.5. So clearly a ton of money coming in on New England already. Joe, we have a bad beat section of the show. Before we get into that, hit the like button. Thumbs up, guys. Comment, please. Joe, you know, my bad beat is not related to football. My bad beat is this Ryder Cup. What the hell is it, Joe? I mean, can someone explain to me? And these people were crying. Like the Irishman, Shane Lowry, was crying hysterically because Team Europe, which isn't even Team Europe because they probably don't even count half of Europe, it's some random geographical area, beat Team America. Team Europe is not a thing, people. There is no such thing. You can't just make a Team Europe. Like Spain has hated on Portugal for eternity. France and England war with each other for the last 1,000 years. Germany has tried to conquer Europe twice in the last 100 years. How, Joe, is that what you would call a team? And why does anyone give a rat's ass about some made-up nonsense? Who does America play next, Joe? The team from the islands? So every country that is an island gets to assemble a team? What the hell is this?
Yeah. Well, it was good television, I'll tell you that, ironically enough, after it was awful beyond that. But no, Prez, I get you. It's kind of a strange situation there where you get to group, 100 countries versus just one. I wonder if they did that in with the Four Nations face-off here. I wonder if can they do that? Can we just make it like a North American situation and put USA and Canada together?
Well, then what about Mexico? Is Mexico not part of North America?
Very underrated hockey in Mexico.
Where's
I agree.
Greenland?
I agree with you. Yes, also different. Yeah. One bad beat to know about, Prez. Those of you that had Indy yesterday, I feel for you because the Adonai Mitchell there, not one, but 2 touchdowns wiped off the board because he's an idiot. Dropping the football before you get to the goal line on a clear touchdown, and then a holding call that wiped off a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. Could have had a much different experience with Indy yesterday against the Rams than how it ended up, Prez.
Well said, Joe. Lucky for me, I had no bad beats. MLB postseason, it's begun. The Jays. Yeah, baby. Okay, Joe, I hand the mic to you. Go.
Yeah, all right. Well, here, a couple of things you got going on here. Keeping in mind that 7-17 is what the Detroit Tigers were in the month of September. They were absolutely horrific. These teams played, the Guardians and the Tigers played 6 times in a very, in a 2-week and a 14-day period. And yeah, the Tigers couldn't get out of their own way, including Skubal pitching twice against the Guardians. And lost both of them. Pitched very well, but lost both of them. These are the 2 weakest offensive teams in the postseason here. The total is 6.5 for tomorrow's game against Skubal, and it's 6.5 for a reason. Doesn't make any difference if they go with Bybee or Gavin Williams. Detroit cannot hit right-handed pitching, and they got a couple of pretty good ones there. The Guardians do. The Yankees and the Red Sox, I can't explain how important game 1 is going to be. Crochet versus Max Fried, 2 of the aces here. And anytime you get Yankees and the Red Sox should be a lot of fun. But the Yankees have yet to touch Crochet. He has dominated them this season. Short series, game 1 is absolutely huge. Boston has to have it. If they don't, it's going to be a quick series for the Boston Red Sox there. In fact, I want to congratulate the Reds, Prez, on making it to the postseason. Having said that, tee times are available next week. It won't take long for you to have to make them, Reds, as the Dodgers are about to steamroll you right out of the postseason here. But maybe, and just maybe, the most unknown is going to be the Cubs and the Padres here. The Padres have the better bullpen. Both teams have had iffy offenses in the second half of the season. That feels like it can go either way, but there's no way you can back Detroit, even with Skubal on the mound. I think game 1's going to determine what you need to know with the Yankees. And the Reds, again, thanks for participating in this year's postseason.
There we go. Joe Raineri, outstanding stuff. Let's get to the mailbag section of the show, and I'm going to start with Danzo 67296 writes, the Chargers are 16-5 in the first half under Harbaugh. You're welcome. Thank you. Great stat though, Joe, and one worth noting, but you did lose that one there, Danzo. So don't ask for thanks before you actually cash that ticket. Nathan 2984 writes, Steelers are winning idiots. He has no comma. So I'm going to say, why are you calling the Steelers idiots, Nathan? That's not very nice of you, Joe. No. Like why?
No idea.
It makes no sense.
I agree.
Another gentleman decided Steel Pumpkin to correct people's spelling in our comment section. Steel. Come on, brother. We're a bunch of males. Like, who cares about spelling?
Nobody.
Solutions to world problems, Joe. He writes the best thing. Good show, gentlemen. Art's perspective is criminally underrated, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about right now. Art the Caesar joins our show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He is the risk manager at the Westgate Sportsbook. And guys, his info is gold, and we are trying literally to build a show around him. I mean, we have one of the biggest sportsbook managers in the world come on our show and tell us literally who's betting what. I have a deep respect for this guy. He just made a 10-dime bet on this team. He's telling us which teams they need to win. He's telling us which where the line is going to go. Art the Caesar, Joe, what a privilege to have him on this show. And one of the main reasons this is the best betting show ever.
Listen, knowledge is power, but you got to love the people who are, oh, yeah, it's a little counterintuitive. It seems like it's a little, I don't know, man, doesn't make any sense. Why would the book profit by telling us exactly what? Because they don't know what the outcome of the game is. That's not what he's telling you.
But not only that, Joe, and Teddy and I were talking about this on the End Zone show on Sunday. Art's a bettor. These guys who work at sportsbooks, they're just employees. They've bet too.
Yep.
So, yeah, total nonsense that regard. But having Art with us, unbelievable. What a show, brother. I'm cheering for a lot of scores in the Miami-New York Jets game. I'm cheering like crazy for the Denver Broncos. I'm getting some NFL bets in later today to take advantage of the line. And Joe, I'm excited about baseball. Go Jays. Go frickin' Jays. Anything else?
Nope. Should be a hell of a week. So buckle up here. Art will be back tomorrow. Should be an awful lot of fun to hear exactly where the books stand with all the early money this week.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this, brother. The date of our show, I think, is wrong. I don't think we're on the 25th, Joe.
Yeah, no, that is totally wrong. But I think it was right earlier. We should be close enough, though, I think. At this
Who
point.
cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Lots of love.